So I've just finished watching one of Jay Shetty's videos on making judgments on other people, and it kind of got me thinking, really, because this is something that I feel quite passionately about, making snap judgments of other people. If you don't know who Jay Shetty is, he does a lot of, I think he's got a YouTube channel. I tend to watch a lot of his videos on Facebook. It's definitely worth checking out. He's very motivational, and the videos that he makes and things. And yeah, this one just kind of got me thinking, because I think it's something that we all do. You know, I do it. You know, everyone does it. We all make judgments on people and snap decisions about things from time to time. But I think that it's so important that we don't make judgments on people based on whether it be mental illness, whether it be what they look like, whether it be a disability. You know, those sorts of things. I think we all need to think about what we're assuming about that person without actually knowing them. This is something that I have myself been caught up in quite a lot over the years. You know, the amount of times I remember specifically as I was growing up, sort of like my teens and my 20s, the amount of times that I was told that I looked unapproachable, and I still get that now. You know, I remember once in my teens I used to go to a drama class, and I'll never forget this girl coming up to me once. I'd started talking to her, and she came up to me and she literally went, "Oh my God, you're actually really nice." And I was like, "What?" And she'd said that she'd wanted to speak to me for weeks, but thought that I looked unapproachable and bitchy. And I've kind of had that assumption made about me throughout my life, actually. Now, I'm not denying that assumption, because I think I can come across quite steely faced. You know, when I'm walking down the street, or when I do the school run, which I hate. We all kind of joke amongst us that I have what is technically known as resting bitch face. That's not because, or I hope that's not because I am a bitch, and I'm not unapproachable, but I do have huge guards, huge walls, and I'm very, very guarded in you know, day-to-day situations. And I think that I've got one of those faces where even if I don't say it, my face says it. So I think that's how I can come across, and that's kind of the assumption that's always been made about me, when actually I'm not those things at all, you know. And I think it's very easy to then, you know, just in my example, to not approach that person, or to leave that person out, or just to think, well, she's stuck up, or whatever the assumption may be, when actually that isn't the case, without knowing the person and knowing why they may look quite steely or look quite guarded, and that might come from somewhere, you know. So that's my own experience. But not only that, I think, you know, I've had enough hospital admissions over my life since my teenage years. I've actually lost count. I think it's 6 that I've had, and I've met enough people from so many different backgrounds, with so many different mental illnesses, at so many different stages of their lives, that, you know, I could sit here and think, oh, you know, poor me, you know, I've been in hospital this time, I've lost all this time of my life. And I did go through a period of that. It's like, you know, I haven't done the things that I wanted to do, I haven't gone to uni, I haven't got a career. But on the other hand, you know what, I really wouldn't take that back, because it's made me very, very non-judgmental. It's made me extremely open-minded, because I've met so many people from so many walks of life, in so many different situations, vulnerable people, that you wouldn't expect to have on face value some of the problems and some of the backgrounds that they have had. So that has made me very open-minded, and I generally look at things in a very open-minded way now. Like, if we're watching something on the telly, my partner has a habit of going, "Oh, that's terrible, or he shouldn't have done that," or, "Well, what a prick he is," or blah blah blah. And 9 times out of 10, my brain will automatically go into split mode of why that could have happened. Or maybe it's this, maybe that. Yeah, but you don't know that, because this. It kind of does his head in. But I'm actually glad that that's the way I think now, because just like other people have made snap decisions about me, you know, this is going on for other people as well. And just a few examples, you know, in my last hospital admission I had, it was very eye-opening, because it was based on a lot of group therapy, which I absolutely hated the thought of to begin in, baring your soul to a circle full of people. But ultimately, that was the thing that it was that admission that turned my life around, really. And I really think that had a part to play in it, because you get to hear from other people, and you get to, you know, you get to relate to that, and there's something to say about that. But not only that, it's very, it opens your mind up, because you see these people, you know, we all would look at whoever's around us in this circle and maybe make a judgment automatically in our minds, but then they start speaking and you hear their story, and it's like, what, you'd never have guessed that you'd never have guessed that from that person. That might be why, how they are. You know, one example in particular was a lad who was very, very smiley. He was very jokey. He was always making jokes and making everybody smile. But actually, you know, when you got to the crux of the matter and I heard his story, it was like, wow, that just shows how easy that is to make a judgment about somebody else. Because actually, look why he's here, and look why, you know, he's in the same room as we are. You know, it's not just the happy jokey smiley person. There's something behind that. And another one that I will never forget was a girl, when I was having a cigarette in the smoking area downstairs in the hospital, and this girl walked in, and automatically, you know, you think, oh, you know, it's easy to make a judgment on somebody, and that this particular girl, it would have been like, you know, she was very cockney, quite, you know, street, and the way she spoke, and it would have been very easy to kind of make that judgment and think, oh God, she's a bit intimidating. But actually, I spoke to her, and she spoke back to me, and she was in there for addiction. And you know what? She was one of the nicest people that I spoke to in that hospital. And you know what? When I got up and left, I turned round, and she went, sorry, excuse me. And I turned back round, and she said, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. I didn't know whether to cry, whether to hug her or whatever, but I just thought, you know what? That shows how you cannot judge a book by its cover. And every time I spoke to her after that, she was so incredibly lovely, but on face value, it would be the kind of person that you'd think, oh God, she's a bit intimidating, I don't really want to speak to her. But it just shows you literally can't judge a book by its cover. I saw a quote earlier this week saying, some of the nicest people you will ever meet will be covered in tattoos, and some of the most judgmental people will go to church on a Sunday. I'm not saying that everyone that's judgmental goes to church and everyone that's lovely has tattoos, but the point of the matter is that you literally can't judge. And I think it's really important that we bear that in mind before we judge somebody based on their outer being, without actually knowing their experiences and their background and why they might be behaving or acting in a certain way.